There's the 2-minute warning. So we have to fly through the pick six. As always, brought to you by Davidson's Liquors, where you can make your own six-pack. And the subject is the six. Do like a crocodile did. Swallow it. Peter Pan.
Oh, thank you. God. The same thing happens to me every morning.
The subject is the 6 most hated college basketball coaches. Could be now, could be throughout history. All right, my 6. Number 6, John Chaney, who actually threatened to kill another head coach while he was sitting in front of a bank of TV cameras. John Chaney, formerly of Temple. Number 5, Rick Pitino, Slick Rick, egomaniac, sharp dresser, a little too sharp, carried on a little too much off the court. A lot of people don't like Rick Pitino. My number 4, John Calipari. A lot of people dislike him. He's very polarizing because they feel he's manipulating the current rules to bring all of these stars into his program. I say he's just playing by the rules. Other people, they hate him. Number 3, Nick Nolte, who played the coach in Blue Chips, which is one of the worst sports movies ever made. I hated the movie. Consequently, I hated Nick Nolte as the coach. Number 2, Frank Martin, who you know I really dislike because of the way he treats people, particularly his kids. He is second only in the treat people poorly department to my number 1 most hated coach, and that is the General Bobby Montgomery Knight. I don't think I need to explain why he is one of the most hated, and I certainly don't like him.
This question came up because Coach K, according to Deadspin, there was an article written saying that he is the most hated coach, and he should be.
Why? Why is he so hated?
Because Duke, it's Duke.
He graduates his kids. He sends the good ones to the NBA. He wins. He's a nice guy. He's charitable.
Here's mine.
Okay.
Number 6. Got to remember these. Rick Pitino. And I'm like you. I'm not bothered by Rick Pitino. He's had off-the-field issues. He's moved around a lot. He's been in Kentucky and Louisville, and he failed in the pros.
A little too much stuff in his hair, don't you think?
I'm saying, well, Coach K, people do hate him because it's Duke, and because they hate success. But
they're jealous.
I always liked that he would go out when students were standing in line for NCAA tickets and things, and he would order pizza and give it to everybody.
Shasheskyville.
Yeah, I've always liked him when I've been around him. John Thompson was hated. He's been a commentator for a long time, but he was hated, and I didn't appreciate sitting behind him when they played North Carolina and hearing the curse words come out of him. He'd fill up that bank in like 2 minutes.
Well, also he was viewed as a militant black man.
Well, I don't have a
by
problem
many
with
white
that.
people.
There was talk about him coming to Denver and being the general manager, and a Washington Post story said one of the reasons why he'd be interested in coming to Nuggets as president and general manager is he had a condo in Las Vegas. And people, my sister thought we could drive to Las Vegas for the afternoon. People in the East think that Denver is right next to Las Vegas. Oh, and if you go over the hill, there's L.A. Number 3. That's a true story. Anyway, Jerry Tarkanian, everybody felt like he cheated. He was in Vegas.
He did.
But Jerry was Tark the Shark was one of the nicest guys I ever met.
Yeah.
But everybody, he was hated. Adolph Rupp was a very successful coach. I spent a lot of time with him, but he was hated because he wouldn't recruit African Americans when it became acceptable in the South. And then when he did, he recruited bad guys. And Adolph was a racist. And so he was hated for that reason. And I have Bob Knight as number 1. And actually, Bob Knight, and I call him by the name he likes. You call him Bobby. I call him Bob Knight. I've had major difficulties with him, but we've always had a good relationship. I think I told you. He called me one day out of the blue during a snowstorm and wanted to talk to me about a column I'd written. And we met. He loves to come to Colorado to hunt and fish. And yes, he's done a lot of stupid, idiotic things, but I cut through a lot of that and kind of like it.
I never had personal issues with him, but I just felt he was a bully. I thought he bullied
he was
people.
Everything.
And I just didn't care.
But
for
he
him.
told me something. I'll tell you this. There was never a hint of issues with any of his teams.
That's true.
There are no infractions.
That's true.
No.
They graduated. Yeah.
And he told me once. He said, "You'd be amazed at the." And I know who he's talking about. He said, "You'd be amazed at the great coaches in this game that cheat all the time."
Oh, I have no doubt. My arm's getting tired. Let's do this. Davidson's Liquors. You can make your own six-pack from a wide selection of craft beers. Shop thousands of choices online, and free delivery. DavidsonsDenver.com. Go there. Check them out. Experience the Davidsons difference.